tuning into Ag PhD. I'm Brian Hefty.
And I'm Darren Hefty. Thanks for joining us today. We talk a lot about corn and soybeans, but this year we saw some big gains with fungicide use in wheat. We're going to talk about the timings that really paid off this year and what kind of return on investment you can expect.
Well, speaking of return on investment, a lot of farmers are asking right now, hey, with the way the farm economy is, should I just wait till spring to buy, or should I prepay my inputs? We want to talk through some of the benefits and some of the risks of prepaying on your farm.
Got a tough to control weed of the week, but first, here's this week's Farm Basics.
Farm Basics is brought to you by the Liberty Link trait and Liberty herbicide from Bayer. The most reliable weed management solution, Liberty Link and Liberty herbicide are the link to efficient row crop production and sustainable weed management.
During our Farm Basics time today, we're going to talk a little about how much trucking farmers do, because whether you realize it or not, for a lot of farmers, they actually do more trucking than they do actual farming.
Well, it's not like farmers are looking for a second job in all cases. It's just, hey, you raise a crop, you have to get that crop to market. That's the big thing. We don't have too many suppliers that say, yeah, we'll just pick it up right from you in the field. No, it doesn't matter if you're baling hay or if you're raising corn or if you're raising livestock for that matter. Either way, you have to get the end product to where it needs to go, to where the buyer's at.
All right, well, let's talk just a little bit about how much trucking this could actually be. So let's just say, for example, a farmer has 1,000 acres and he raises 200 bushel corn on 100% of it. Okay, so that's 200,000 bushels, and roughly you can get 1,000 bushels on a truckload. Okay, so you've got 200 truckloads to haul out. Well, if you're hauling it very far away and you can only get 1 or 2 turns in a day, let's just say it was 2 turns in a day. You divide 200 by 2, that's 100 days. 100 days. So you divide that by, let's say you did it 5 days a week, that's 20 weeks out of the year. That's almost half the year where you're trucking. That is a lot. And then the other side of this is, if you want to do even more trucking, you can haul in some of the other things you need, like your seed, your crop protection products, your fertilizer. So you very well could eat up another month doing some of that type of trucking. So literally half of your year could be spent in that semi.
So you think about this for farmers, it's a huge job. So when it comes to operating a farm today, farms look bigger than they did when I was a kid, and some farms have grown in size, there's no question about it. But when you think about how yields have grown on farms, when I was growing up, 100 bushel corn was something in our area that was pretty good. Now it's 200 bushel corn as a measuring stick. So just think about the grain storage on farms. Farmers have to be able to store at least twice as much as what they used to, just to hold even. Now, in previous generations, a lot of the grain would just go right to town, right to elevators, or it would get fed to livestock on the farm. Now there's many more options that farmers had. Maybe they haul it to a terminal on the Mississippi River, or maybe they haul it to the coast, or maybe they haul it to an ethanol plant down the road. There's lots of different places that farmers may be going with the grain that they raised on their farms, and there may be different requirements for that grain. For example, there are some livestock producers that want to buy grain from farmers and they want high moisture grain. So that may change up the farmer's whole operation. He may be able to harvest earlier, but that just means he has to get trucking that much earlier too, and he may have to truck that right out of the field since high moisture grain isn't going to store well for him. So there's lots of things with farmers where they need to have trucks and need to be able to operate them at any point during the year.
The reason why I bring this up too is because a lot of people say, oh, farmers have it easy. They just farm for a month in the spring and a month in the fall and then they're done. And I go, really? We farm 2,700 crop acres. Think about all the trucking we have to do. It's a lot more than just a 1,000-acre farmer. I just said a 1,000-acre farmer might be trucking for 6 months out of the year. And then besides that, we've got to work on our equipment. We've got tillage and fertility work to do. We have spraying, we have field scouting, we have soil testing, we have all these jobs. I mean, we are busy year-round. And it's one of the things too where our dad always said, hey, if we're going to get ahead on the farm, we not only have to push in the spring and the fall when everybody else is. I mean, it's real easy to see, oh, the crop's got to get out. I'm going to work 20 hours a day for a little while. Okay, great. But he just said, you got to push it year round. In the wintertime, you got to push it on trucking, try to get an extra turn above and beyond what somebody else can. And, you know, do more with your livestock, do more with your crop equipment so you have that in good shape so you don't have breakdowns in season. I mean, just so many different jobs. And today we wanted to highlight how much trucking the average farmer actually has to do.
Now, one other job that's a big job on the farm is controlling weeds. Can you identify this week's Weed of the Week?
Regalia RX biofungicide activates a plant's natural defense system, limiting the effects of disease and improving overall plant health. Regalia RX complements your fungicide program to optimize yield and strengthen return on investment. Ask your retailer for Regalia RX today.
I choose Stein.
I choose service.
I choose results.
I choose research.
I choose genetics.
I choose Stein.
At Stein, we have products that are second to none.
You know, Stein has a background of the highest yielding genetics in the marketplace.
They are a world-class leader in genetics. We push the limits, we try new things, we develop genetics, all designed to benefit the farmer. I choose Stein because Stein has yield.
We have a school and a church nearby. I actually go to the classroom to educate the students about what's going on here on my farm. The system that I have, I tie everything together. No-till, cover crops. We applied AgriLiquid in furrow with our soybeans this year. It seemed like they jumped out of the soil, even though we had the record rainfall. I really feel that I'm feeding my plant on a consistent year-round basis throughout the growing season.
For lower costs, higher production, Mandico Agri leads with versatility unmatched. Twister is the vertical tillage unit for no-till as well as conventional tillage. Avoid costly downtime with Twister's ease of maintenance. Its unique Coulter suspension allows it to follow the contour of the field yet remain forgiving in rocks. Our hydraulically adjustable Coulter angles mean you never leave the cab, making residue management easier, more efficient. Spring or fall, the Mandico Twister is the new leader. Check with your local dealer or visit mandicoagri.com.
A farmer's attention to detail is what makes the difference. You take the time for service management because you know how vital it is to your operation. You service your field like everything else because soil sampling makes all the difference and gets the results you want. Download the app Soil Test Pro and start grid sampling today. Keep your farm growing strong. The more you test, the more you know.
Your time is valuable. That's why you need a Hagie STS application system. Hagie STS products are designed for precision and efficiency, allowing you to make applications all season long with just one machine. Contact your Hagie rep today.
One of the most important things you can do on your farm if you want to save overall net dollars is prepay. Now there are a couple of different things we're looking at here. One, it's prepaying for tax reasons, and two, it's prepaying to get a better deal on things like herbicide and seed. So we want to talk about both of those things today, as well as discuss the benefits and the risks.
All right, there's two ways to make more money. One is to work harder, the other is to work smarter. This one falls into the work smarter category. When we think about inputs for your farm, you have to buy seed for next year. You have to buy crop protection products if that's how you're managing your farm. You know these things. So if you can time them just a little bit different and save lots of money, it makes so much sense. So when we think about it from that standpoint, yes, getting the discounts and maximizing that on products you know you're going to use for sure is really smart. The big thing though is not to take that risk of losing all your money. That means you have to do business with a supplier that's very reputable and financially secure. Because think about it, if you're prepaying with your seed dealer, you write the seed dealer a check and he says, yep, I'll bring the seed out in the spring. Wow, there's a long time until spring. You want to make sure that that seed dealer is going to be there, because if you had to prepay for that expense and you totally lost it and he ran away with your money, you would be in big trouble. So you don't want to get into that situation. That's the number one thing I would say, is make sure that you're working with a reputable dealer.
The other big risk here is if overall prices change significantly to the bad side. In other words, they go down and you prepaid $100 and you realize, ooh, I could have bought it in the spring for $60. This commonly happens with fertilizer. And I don't care how good your dealer is, and you know, they'll price protect you for the most part on crop protection and on seed. Just make sure you talk to them in advance. But nobody's going to price protect you on fertilizer. So when you're going to go out and buy fertilizer, you want to have a pretty good understanding that, yeah, I'm buying at the low. But unfortunately, we really don't know if it's the low. So what we often encourage you to do is, hey, if you're going to buy your fertilizer, then sell some grain at the same time, because usually grain and fertilizer prices follow. In other words, if you're going to buy fertilizer at the high and then everything drops down, all of a sudden you realize, oh, I bought my inputs at the high and I sold my grain at the low. So if you're going to buy one at the high, sell the other at the high. If you're going to buy one at the low, sell the other at the low, and just try to keep things even that way. That's a way to at least hopefully manage your risk a little bit.
Well, the other risk that I look at is you may change your plans. Maybe you say, you know what, I want to go all corn next year. I'm really excited about that. So I buy all these inputs for corn, and all of a sudden, wow, I can't get in the fields. It's raining and it's raining and it's way past my latest date that crop insurance will cover me, or that I feel I can still get a decent yield in my cornfields. I've got to switch to another crop. Maybe I'm going to switch to soybeans. Will your supplier work with you? If you say, wow, I bought all this product that I can only use on corn, can I really switch and get soybean products or soybean seed in exchange for that and still get that prepaid deal? That's one of those things. We do see a number of suppliers that are willing to do that, but you have to ask those questions on the front side. If you just buy and say, oh, I'm sure he's good for it, I'm sure he'll be good if I need to switch things out, maybe that dealer can't. Maybe he's working with suppliers for him that won't allow him to trade out, and he's not able to do that for you either. So you have to ask those things on the front side for sure.
All right, let's come back to the benefits of this whole prepay thing. And where a lot of this starts for most farmers is they want to save money on taxes, or better put, they want to delay paying money in for taxes. So if you're a non-farmer and you're watching, you say, wow, farmers, they can get out of paying tax. They never get out of paying tax. Nobody gets out of paying tax legally, okay? All you can do is delay that tax bill, and here's how a farmer is allowed to do it. What the farmer can do is be on a cash accounting system, so if he spends money in cash to buy product inputs, things like crop protection, seed, fertilizer, he can lower his tax bill this year. So let's just say, for example, that the farmer was going to make $150,000 this year. His farm operation turned out good this year. He's going to make $150,000. Okay, what he could do is prepay $100,000, and that in effect delays his tax bill. Let's say his overall tax bill's at 30%. So 30% of $100,000 is $30,000. Well, hopefully the farmer can then take that $30,000, instead of paying it to the government this year in tax, he knows he's going to have to pay for it somewhere down the road, but maybe he can take that and do something with it. It's called opportunity cost of money. Usually, like if you put it in the stock market, you get a 10% return over many, many years. That's kind of the long-term average. Hopefully on the farm, you can do even better than that. But let's just say 10% for easy figuring. So you saved $30,000 this year, which means you can turn that into $3,000. So you gained $3,000. Well, literally, if you could push that tax bill off and every year keep prepaying the same amount every year and delay it for 20 years, you get $3,000 times 20 years. That's $60,000 that the farmer can gain. Now, you say, well, why does the government allow the farmer to delay the tax bill, but me as a regular citizen, I can't do that? Here's why. Because the only way that the farmer can lower his tax bill this year is he has to put money into the economy. And what do they always say about putting money into the economy? It turns 7 times. So instead of that 100,000, all of a sudden it's 700,000 put into the economy. Well, it's really good for a lot of people. So yeah, it delayed the tax bill a little bit, but who cares? Because it turned all that money into something really good for a lot of people.
All right, the other benefit that sometimes gets talked about, but I think is really critical, is just getting exactly what you want. Getting that tight supply product, getting that brand new hybrid or seed variety. The way to do that is spending the money early, putting in your order early. When you think about it, you may say, well, I'm this dealer's best customer, or I'm his favorite customer. That's fine, but if you don't commit until right at planting season, guess what? Any of that short supply stuff, high demand stuff, somebody's already spoken for it.
Well, once again, we think prepaying is a great deal in a lot of cases. Just make sure you're talking to your dealer in advance. If you need to get your money back, you can do it. Ask them about getting interest on your money if you need to get the money back. Make sure you're getting price protection on as many things as possible. So work with your dealer as much on the upfront side. And you've got to really trust that dealer because they've got your cash. You need to get collateral if you're really that worried about it. Maybe even take delivery of the product early or something like that. So try to manage the risk as much as you can, but just understand that prepaying is usually a great deal to get yourself a better deal and to delay your tax bill, which puts more cash into your operation this year.
One thing you may be prepaying for is weed control options for our Weed of the Week. Can you identify this week's weed?
Introducing the SoilMax ZD48, the newest addition to the SoilMax Gold Digger lineup. The first plow designed for smaller class tractors, the ZD48 has been tested on tractors weighing between 10,000 and 16,000 pounds with excellent results. Designed for row crop farms, vineyards, irrigation, and specialty crop farms. The SoilMax ZD48 will install tile up to 48 inches deep, as well as install 3 or 4-inch tile. The ZD48 truly opens up the world of tile installation to more farms than ever before.
Precision in grain moisture management can save you thousands in spoilage and elevator docks. The AgriDry Bullseye Controller monitors temperature and grain moisture and is available for all dryer makes and models. Plus, our AD-Link feature gives you 24/7 remote monitoring and allows you to control your dryer wherever you are. Call us today for more information.
Dry Load Store, 1-855-AgriDry.
I've been involved in developing new technologies in agriculture for over 3 decades. The changing times demanded that we develop new and better equipment. Dry powder applications on seed can only be highly successful if they can be easily, effectively, and accurately applied to the target. That's where our company, Changing Times and CT Applicators, come into the picture. The innovative CT Applicators are designed to give you the most accurate application of products such as talc, soybean inoculants, or other dry products. Remember, CT Applicators for the changing times.
Looking to maximize yield? Quick Roots from Monsanto Bioag is a microbial seed inoculant that allows the plant root to explore a greater volume of soil, the key to higher yields. Quick Roots continues to generate yield response on corn, soybeans, wheat, and more, and is applied to the seed so the live microorganisms go right to work enhancing seedling vigor, increasing the uptake of certain nutrients including NPK, and expanding root volume. Maximize yield on your farm this season. Get Quick Roots today.
There are no marks of conflict lining this landscape. No echoes of economic hardship. Just the unmistakable murmur of Mother Nature's hand. In the perennial quest to outperform, ensure your crop gets the nutrients it craves with Avail Phosphorus Fertilizer Enhancer. Nothing helps protect your investment more, so you can grow confidently no matter what comes your way. Avail. Hold your ground.
If you're a wheat farmer, by now you probably know spraying a fungicide can be a great thing in your operation, but when's the best time to get the best return on investment? We want to talk about that today.
It all starts with that early season herbicide timing window where we a lot of times will see those early season diseases. Why do we see disease at that timing? Well, for one, we've got a short plant, it's close to the ground, and the ground a lot of times is wet and cold. That all adds up to more potential for diseases. Maybe it's tan spot, maybe it's something else. A lot of times that is where we see good gains using a fungicide right in there with the herbicide in the same tank.
Okay, well that is a good time to spray, but what most universities have shown and private industry, it's that flag leaf timing. Yet that's the time when the fewest number of people spray. And here's why I think that is. Because at herbicide timing, it's easy. You're already out there anyway, you throw something in, no big deal, right? Okay, you use a half rate, only costs you $2 to $5 an acre, no big deal. That flag leaf timing, well that's where you might have to call a plane in, or if you had tram lines, you could go spray it yourself. But a lot of people look at flag leaf timing and they say, well, if I wait just a little longer, then I can get my disease control on the leaves, but I can also protect that head. So a lot of people wait till heading timing. And don't get me wrong, heading timing is a great time to spray too. For the intensive wheat management guys, they're doing all 3 timings. At herbicide timing, they're going at flag leaf, which is the most important, and then also at heading timing. The heading timing is incredibly difficult to get timed exactly right, because ideally what we want is it's got to be fully headed, and we want maybe 5, 10, 20% flowering. We want a little bit of flowering to happen, and then you're going to spray. Okay, well the window's like 2 days. So if you can hit that just right, you're in pretty good shape for protecting yourself from head scab and from some of the leaf diseases.
Okay, for the most part, we get a lot of questions about which products work the best, which of those timings should I choose?
Well, let's start with products. Let's just go with products.
So that early season herbicide timing, you can use a triazole, you could use a strobilurin, which would be in that headline or equation type of family, or you could use a combination product, which generally has 1 triazole and 1 strobilurin. And there are other combinations too that have different sites of action as well.
Okay, yeah, but here's the thing. You're not going to get a lot of the plant health benefits out of the old Tilt or generic Tilt, something like Bumper. Okay, it's a fine product, all right, but for just a little bit more money, you can get plant health benefits too. Equation is the generic of Quadris. It's like $3.50
or really go out on a limb, Brian, and spend an extra couple bucks and mix that generic Tilt in with it.
You very well could. But all I'm trying to say is I'd probably use a Strobilurin there.
And the rate.
Half
at that
rate.
early season application, we have a small plant, so a low rate.
All right, so later on at flag leaf timing, that's where you probably want to run full rate. You could do a straight Strobilurin. We prefer to see a combination product of a strobe and a trizol. And then at the heading timing, that's where we want to run with a straight trizol. You can't run with a Strobilurin product. Anything containing a Strobilurin, like a Headline, Equation, Quadris, can't do it. The reason why is you're going to probably have increased DON levels, basically toxin level. We don't want that in our crop. So you got to go with a straight trizol. The nice thing here is now we've got great options like Prosaro and Caramba that are much better for scab. And this year, I mean, we were talking 20 bushels in a lot of fields. But you've also got a cheap option. The old generic Folicure is $2 an acre. $2 an acre for something like Tebucon. That's it. So before you say, it's too expensive, I can't afford that this year, don't you know commodity prices are down? Is it really too expensive for $2 an acre? You can't honestly tell me that on average you aren't going to gain a return by spraying something that costs $2 an acre and used to be the premier product not only for head scab but for rust like stripe rust as well.
Well, one other thing you may see in your wheat fields is our Weed of the Week. We'll show you how to stop this tough weed coming up next.
The Weed of the Week is sponsored by the Enlist Weed Control System from Dow AgroSciences, a new herbicide and trait system that will build on glyphosate.
Farming isn't just in the land, it's in you. Take control of weeds like never before. Enlist builds on the Roundup Ready system, combining proven control of a new 2,4-D and glyphosate in Enlist Duo herbicide. Protect what matters without changing the way you farm. Talk to your seed or crop protection supplier today.
Our Weed of the Week is Prickly Sida. This one I kind of think of a little bit along the same lines as Velvet Leaf. Some of the same products will give you some control. Just understand it is kind of a tough broadleaf, so we want to stop it. This could even be a host for soybean cyst nematode and some other problems we have, so we definitely want to get it under control.
In some areas of the country, it's known as tea weed. And one of the things when you say it's a tough to control weed, Brian, is that Roundup is not very good on it. And it's not like this is Roundup resistant. It's just Roundup has never really been very good on Prickly Sida. So we've got to use some other things. So we look at pre-emerge options to get our first shot on this weed, and then we'll finish it off with a post choice as well.
All right, well, let's start in wheat. We don't typically have a big problem with Prickly Sida in wheat, but nevertheless, if you want to use sharpen pre-emerge, that's real good on it. Post-emerge, wide match, plus addition broad spec would be the best way to go.
In corn, it's not the toughest weed to control. We really like Balance Flex and Corvus. We also like Sure Start and Triple Flex. They've done a nice job. Then post-emerge, we can use something like Status. Even Hornet has done a nice job over the years.
All right, in soybeans, this is where we have the biggest trouble with it. And what I would say is start with that good pre again. You're not going to get much out of the yellows, Treflan, Sonalan, or Prowl like we often talk about. That's where you got to go Authority and Metribuzin, or even Valor and Metribuzin. Those things will give you much better activity.
I thought you were going to go the easy way out. Liberty Link soybeans. Liberty does a nice job. Then you can spray 2 shots of Liberty in crop. That'd be a way to go. Conventional soybeans, we see a lot of guys using a quart of Basagran with a quart of oil. That seems to work pretty well too.
Well, once again, our Weed of the Week is Prickly Sida. Stay tuned. Iron Talk is coming up next.
Take a look inside any rotary combine and you'll find single rotor technology. Technology Case IH introduced over 35 years ago with the Axial Flow combine. But unless it gives you more bells and whistles with fewer belts and chains, more power using less fuel, it's not an Axial Flow. Because while the heart of every rotary combine beats red, only Case IH gives you the power to do more.
Presenting the new 2016 Apache sprayer. If you could save money and increase yield, why wait? Delaying change can cost you money.
It's phenomenal the return of investment it brings back. In my mind, a sprayer is the biggest return of investment you can bring back.
Apache owners apply in half the time of a pull type, apply when they want versus custom, and spend less than Hydrostat owners, not to mention less weight on their crops. Go ahead and compare. We hope you do. Visit etsprayers.com to locate a dealer and how to save with an Apache. Apache, now more than ever.
Being a farmer means securing your land and livelihood for the future. Harvest Solutions from Capello USA have the grit to get you there. Our product lines for corn, sunflowers, and forage are designed for efficiency and longevity, preventing harvest loss while minimizing maintenance and downtime. To do everything you can to advance your farmland to the next generation, call us at 855-CAPELLO or visit us at capellousa.com. Capello USA, Italian craftsmanship, American grit.
We've been dealing with AgriLiquid a little over 7 years. I was skeptical, to be honest, but I watched the results from several clients. Those results were increased production and reduction in input cost. With AgriLiquid, we saw an increase in the size of the initial root mass. For ranchers, that means forage production a lot quicker. AgriLiquid works. The bottom line is profitability.
Are you wasting money applying the wrong fertilizers on your farm? Here are 3 easy steps to finding out. First, download the free AgPHD Soil Test app. Next, pull your own samples. You can probably sample 1,000 acres a day using 5-acre grids. Finally, submit the samples and get both AgPHD and Midwest Labs recommendations. You can also quickly and easily build your own variable rate application maps and controller files. Go to agphdsoiltest.com to learn more.
With the success of the Case IH Steiger Quad Track and Magnum Road Track tractors, it's no secret why Case IH is the leader of the track. So it wasn't surprising when the competition started imitating us. But only Case IH offers a 5-axle design to give you a smoother ride, more power to the ground, with less berming and compaction. Still, we're flattered. In fact, if we weren't already red, we'd be blushing.
Iron Talk is brought to you by Case IH.
The AFS Connect Farm Management System from Case IH connects you, and only you, to the information you need most from your equipment, from anywhere, at any time. AFS Connect, only from Case IH.
Most non-farmers don't realize that trucking is a big part of the job on the farm. With a tip on keeping those trucks on the road, here's today's Iron Talk. In agriculture, it seems like there's always something going on. When you aren't in the field, you're generally either trucking or working on equipment. In order to keep those trucks on the road, you need to keep up with licensing and DOT requirements for your state. The Department of Transportation wants annual inspections done on trucks to make sure that they're safe for operation on U.S. highways. If your inspections are due in the middle of the growing season, it's a real pain to have to stop what you're doing and get the truck in for inspection. Certainly, maintenance is a 12 months of the year job, but we always schedule our inspections for a time of the year where we can afford our trucks to be off the road for a day. If you haven't had your inspections done yet, right now or at some point later on this winter could be the best time to get them out of the way. Once you set up your annual inspections to be done at an ideal time of year for your operation, they'll stay that way for the life of the truck. That's all for today's Iron Talk, and now back to the show.
Closed captioning for Ag PhD is sponsored by Norwood Sales.
On your farm, you need speed and year-round effectiveness in your tillage program. The Quick Till from Norwood Sales allows you to move quickly through your fields, maximizing time and improving yield. Constructed of heavy-duty materials, the Quick Till is ideal for both spring and fall applications, from preparing a healthy seedbed early in the season to breaking up corn residue after harvest. For more information about how a Quick Till can improve fields on your farm, call Norwood Sales today.
That's all the time we have for today's show, but if you're looking for more agronomic information, we invite you to tune in to the Ag PhD radio show. You'll find us at 2 p.m. and 11 p.m. Central each weekday on Sirius XM 147.
Don't miss the next Ag PhD TV show. We'll have another Weed of the Week, a Farm Basics Iron Talk, and much more. I'm Darren Hefty.
And I'm Brian Hefty. Thanks for watching Ag PhD.
Crop residues from previous crops are highly beneficial to our soils and the environment. As residues break down naturally in the soil, they release nutrients for future crops but can also become organic matter in the soil. Visit the Responsible Nutrient Management Foundation at rnmf.org to learn how farmers manage crop residues.